Daughter had a game last night.
Oh.
She had 5 points.
Okay.
They killed Wiley College.
Oh. That's cool.
Did you?
A little bit.
Okay. Where'd you play?
In Youngman's okay.
Oh, very cool. What? 3 guard? 4?
I was 3.
It was the 3.
But I could be 4.
Play either different, wherever they needed, huh?
Exactly.
That's exactly the kind of coach. I coached AAU for 12 years, and I loved when a player would say, "Coach, I just want to play wherever you need me to play."
Yeah, we all trying to win, so you know.
That's right.
I didn't know it had started, but it is almost November.
Yeah. And then the Thunder played last night, I believe.
Oh, you had a Mavs here too?
You're a Mavs fan, thinking you're from Texas.
Hey.
I'll let that slide.
Hey, that team.
Hey, do I have to put these on?
Nice. Yeah.
All right. The Mavs.
Nah, but okay, see, nice too.
Oh, we're more than nice. We just needed a couple more pieces. We got that extra piece.
For sure, they be balling.
Oh, that's a black bag player. Let me try.
You got 1 minute.
Okay.
Check the camera.
It's so loud, though.
Let's turn it down.
You mind being in the camera?
I'm in the camera.
My TikTok.
Oh no,
you
all
good?
Yeah.
All right. I don't ask you to share often, but this would be really cool to share. If I was talking loud, wasn't I?
Yeah, you good? It's all good.
Hey, I don't often ask you all to share, but if you would like to share this is pretty cool. I got invited to do a radio interview, and so I don't know what we're going to talk about for the next hour, but y'all know me, it's going to be fun. Be really fun.
Starting it up.
All right.
Ready? You ready? Are you ready? Okay. I got you.
Welcome to Langston Vibes on KBOB 89.9 FM.
The go-to source for R&B hits in the game of Tulsa.
We're broadcasting live from Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're here to keep you entertained and informed about Langston University, Oklahoma's only HBCU. So sit back and relax. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Langston Vibes. I'm your host today, Dr. Sherry Smith Keys. I'm flying solo, but I've got a great guest, so we're going to handle it. Dr. Green is probably still recovering from homecoming weekend. It was his first Langston homecoming, so we'll cut him some slack on his first experience of our legendary homecoming. And was it ever? Did those guys go out there and knock the socks off of our other team? I told him he wasn't ready, but he needed to come and experience the Langston homecoming. But fear not, I am here, as I stated before, and we have a Langston alum who is now working, a faculty member here at our business school. Welcome to the show, Ken.
Well, thank you very much. It's great to be here, and it's a pleasure to be with you. We met prior at Langston, and so to be here with you now is awesome.
Great. Ken, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So Ken Dowdy, from Oklahoma City, Edmond. Grew up in Midwest City.
Okay.
Went to Star Spencer High School. I loved basketball. I love basketball and baseball, but I ended up falling in love with basketball, and so that led me to attempt to play basketball at Oklahoma Baptist University in Shawnee, Oklahoma. 2 years, didn't quite work out. I had a prodigal son experience that we may end up talking about here in a moment.
Okay.
Sat out for about a year, and then found out that my brother, who was graduating high school at the time, short introduction of who I am, was headed to Langston University to be in the band.
Okay.
So I called up the coach, his name was Greg Webb, and asked for an opportunity to be on the team. And long story short, I made the team, ended up at Langston for 3 years, met my wife there. And,
Oh, wow.
here we are 25 years later. I'm a minister, an executive coach, life coach. I do everything from writing books. I got 2 books. I left those 2 books in the car.
Oh, no.
I'm going to go get them
Okay.
if possible, maybe on a break or something. I'm an author, a dad, AAU coach, run a 501c3, run a business with my mom. And I love people. I'm a full-time minister. I'm a full-time pastor. I'm an adjunct professor.
You're busy.
I try to just do whatever the Lord
busy.
wants for me to do in this season, but that's a short version of what's going on in my life.
Well, I love how it intersected with Langston University.
Absolutely.
So
That's
we
where it
want
started.
to hear that. Yeah, we want to hear how that, how that experience maybe help you transition.
So Langston was that one place, growing up that you knew about in the city. A lot of kids either went to Langston, because OU and OSU wasn't technically an option because of cost. And then if you wanted to play sports, it was an opportunity. I wanted to go to another school because they had made it to the national championship game every year. And so I saw myself on the big stage. You have these dreams to make it to the NBA as a kid. And so I thought that was my road. And so when I had my prodigal son experience, I had this aha moment. And Langston was almost like, it was the promised land coming out of the wilderness.
Wow.
And so on that campus, me and about 17 young men dedicated ourselves to the Lord. We were all getting kind of pulled to want to pledge different, we want to pledge Alpha, Kappa, Sigma. Our hearts were for the Lord. And so on that campus in 96, 97, we ended up forming our own Christian fraternity, or chartered a Christian fraternity. And it was called Gamma Phi Delta Incorporated. But it was in those stomping grounds that I actually learned who I became. A part of the version that you see now was formed at Langston. Walking the campus in the cold, in the ice, wind blowing 100 miles an hour, professors who loved you, who did everything they could to make sure that you didn't just pass, but that you became a character person. And so it was in those stomping grounds, going from the BSU to the basketball court, going to hang out with the brothers, back to the BSU, back to the gym, spending time with people on campus and trying to figure out who are you when you're by yourself? Who are you when you're alone? And it was in those 3 years that I got to find out who I was alone. And that was somebody who loved the Lord, but also wanted to help people and, do my part.
Right.
Find out what my purpose was. And so that was Langston. Like, Langston was culture. Langston hugged you every day. Langston was, seeing your aunt, your uncle, your cousin every day. It was a place where you felt very, very comfortable being you.
Right.
You got to be yourself. You got to be in your own shoes, your own skin, and you're okay with it. So that was Langston.
No, that's awesome. One of the things that Dr. Jackson, our 17th president of Langston University, in our interview, that was the one thing she stated was students in those prime years get to come on Langston campus and get a hug.
Yes.
And not have to worry about their skin, their this, their that. They just get that big hug. Everyone supports you. Everyone wants success for you without all the worries of the rest of the world. And I love that.
It was.
Yeah.
My time, so I had, you could say, 3 different experiences of 3 different groups, all kind of doing different things.
Okay.
But but taught me. And so in the School of Business, I was a business major, business administration major. You had professors like Dr. Wadley and Dr. Wallace, who just truly cared. We had Judge Watson, who also was at that time just a lawyer, wasn't even a judge yet, who came into the classroom and just shared us. Here's what you need to know when you get out in the business world. Here's what makes you different. Here's how you're going to have to assimilate to white culture. Here's how you're going to have to fight. And here's the things you need to learn. It wasn't all profit. It wasn't all margins. It wasn't all, here's, you know, what your goals and visions were. But it was, here's how you survive.
Here's how you survive.
And then with my Christian brothers and sisters, it was, here's how you stay whole. This is how you fight temptation. There were temptations.
Ooh, I'm sure.
It's Langston University. But in being with those brothers and sisters, we learned community. We learned how to hold each other up, how to pray for each other. Like some night sessions where everybody else is partying, we're in the rooms praying. We're on campus, walking the yard. And then amongst my basketball teammates, I learned not just teammate, not just community, but I learned family.
Okay.
Because you had to be in the trenches. We took some L's. Our record those 3 years I was there, we were probably 50-50. Won 10 games, lost 10 games.
Okay.
Games we should have won, games we should have lost, but vice versa. And you had the refs against you, crowds against you. The minute you walked into another arena with Langston University on your shirt, you're already down 15-0. I mean, it was tough. And to know that as a family, we stuck together. Mookie, Lamar, there was many others, Derek, and I can think of Juice. We had to bind together because it was just us versus everybody else. And so you learn family, you learn community, you learn how to handle business.
Wow, that's wonderful. But it establishes trust, and you were learning, you know, so many different things, ethics, just, you know, wow.
Yeah.
So tell me where did your wife come in?
I don't know if she's watching, so we have two versions of this story.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She may have to call into the radio show and give her version. And so my wife, I'll tell a quick version of the story. I went to high school with my wife and didn't even know it.
Oh, okay.
She was a freshman. I was a senior in high school.
Okay.
Her and my brother were good friends. Me and her sister were good friends. Her sister graduated with me. We were seniors in '93. They were freshmen. Got to Langston after that prodigal son experience. Me and my brother are sitting in a history class, and 3 girls walk in, maybe 4. And he starts introducing them. He says, "You remember her?" I said, "Yeah, I remember her. That's my friend LaShonda's baby sister." "And you remember her?" I said, "Yeah, I remember her." They all went to the same high school.
Got it.
Everyone from Star Spencer in that class of '96, most of them tried to come up to Langston. And then he says, "And you know Sherelle, your friend?" I said, "Yeah." "Well, this is her baby sister, Rachel." And I looked at her. I said, I don't even remember you. Star Spencer is not a big school, so everybody knew everybody. But whatever reason it was, I didn't know her. We didn't hit it off or do anything her freshman year. It wasn't until my last year there, her junior year, that something in me said she might be the one, but I'm not sure. I was kind of in this Paul phase, this Peter phase, where all I wanted to do was just follow God. Like, where are you? I want to do what you want me to do. So I completely said I was done dating until I knew for sure.
Okay.
Because I was just tired of all of that. And so I was just focused on God. But something kept getting my attention. She came to my basketball games. She would cheer me on. She would bring me dinner after games.
Wow. At
the BSU, she made her acquaintance, and I could tell we started really hitting it off as friends, but nothing serious. I left it alone. I prayed about it. I left it alone. And one night I was praying, like 2 weeks before the semester ended, my junior year, her sophomore year, going into that following year. I said, "Lord, if she's the one for me, you're going to have to show me." I get my word. I start reading the scripture, and I turn open to Rachel's story. Rachel and who? Jacob.
Yeah.
Her name is Rachel, Rashell, Rachel, Rachel. I closed the Bible. I said, no. I opened it up. I said, I'm just going to open it up again. And I don't play Russian roulette with the word often. Right. But in that particular case, when I opened it up to a totally different scripture and verse, there her name was again. And I started reading about her and Jacob's love. I said, interesting. And how Jacob noticed her at the well, and he immediately, the Bible says, caught eyes. My wife is fine. She's amazing. Very attractive. And so right there I knew. I left it alone. I didn't say much. Last day of class, everybody's going home, finals. Something said, go find her. Go find her before she leaves. And so I run across campus. This was when Bro Hall was still there. Leave Bro Hall. She stayed in Centennial. She's literally getting in the car.
Wow.
Ready to go home, stuff packed up for the summer. And I stopped her and I said, hey, you got a moment? She said, yes. I said, I think the Lord wants us to be married. I think you're going to be my wife.
Wow, you said all of that.
We hadn't dated, we hadn't courted, we had talked about marriage. I don't know how many kids she want to have. I don't know what she want to do the rest of her life. I just looked in her eyes and I said, confidently, but also trembling on the inside, I think you're going to be my wife. She says, okay. Because she had already knew. She had been praying about it. God had already showed her that I was the person. She was the Proverbs 31 woman waiting on her man to find her. She wasn't out there trying to find me. She was being very kind. She was definitely making herself like, hey, I'm over here. But she wasn't pushy. She wasn't trying to force herself on me. She waited. A woman who finds. A man who finds a wife finds a good thing. I found her waiting on me. And so I didn't know what to say after that. I was like, so I'll call you. Number? Yeah, so can I call you this summer? This is way before cell phones. This is 1998. So long story short, we courted for a year. I played basketball, got ready for graduation, found my first job, found us a house, and then we got married in 99. That was that full year. She was going into her senior year. I had just graduated. We bought a house in Edmond, so she was driving back and forth from Edmond to Langston every day. I was going to work for Pepsi every day, and we'd come home and like, so how's college? I've graduated already, you know. So that's how it started. 25 years later, still married. Every marriage has its ups and downs. We've had many ups and downs, but we chose to stay together. We made it a point to be intentional to fight through some of those challenges. We wrote a book. I'll hopefully go get it at the break.
Hopefully you will.
And we wrote a book for our 25th anniversary, telling some of those stories of how we journeyed up to this point. Not perfect, just honest, true, very raw. And then there's scriptures for every chapter of how we got there.
Okay. Well, I'd love to see that.
Dr. Rachel Campbell Dowdy, if you're listening, she's also an employee of Langston University. She went back, got her master's from Langston in urban education.
Oh my gosh.
And then she went on to get her PhD from the University of Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner.
Okay.
I know this is OSU country sometimes, but
this is OSU country.
We're also Sooners and Lions, so we're Lions.
Okay, this is going to be weird. Just what you just said about your wife.
Yes.
My spouse is actually taking classes for the organizational leadership, and I feel like he said her name before when you said that. I guarantee you that he's, because my wife teaches a couple of courses in organization. Babe, what's your husband's name? We're gonna make the connection real quick. Well, I hope he turned in his homework. But it's Malcolm.
We're gonna give him a pass because you got me on the radio show. So we're gonna let Mr. Keys, babe, if you're watching, Mr. Keys gets a pass this semester.
He actually went to homecoming and met Is it Dowdy's Delights?
That's my mom's business that I
This
help
is
my mom
crazy.
run. We make cakes and
And I didn't even
breads
put
and
that together.
peach cobblers.
Yes. I even spoke with her
Gooey.
because we're vegan. And I said, can you make something
Oh.
with some chia gel or something? So I would love to try your food. She looked at me like, okay.
Wow.
That is so weird. That is so
So she
small
just texted me.
world.
She just texted me and said, "Yes!" Exclamation mark. I have Malcolm in class.
Oh my God.
So, babe, can Malcolm get an A because of this interview
No.
we're doing?
No, we're not like that. Let him do the work. He's got to do the
Earn
work.
it.
Oh, this is so wonderful.
Small world.
It is so small. I can't wait.
So you
to
met
meet
mom.
her. I met mom.
So, mom, if you're watching,
yeah,
the young lady who you met that
well,
bought
she
some
hugged.
cakes.
She hugged Malcolm because
Okay.
it was his. I said, you got to go and meet her and do what your teacher said. You know, the teacher and me.
Extra
Okay,
credit.
get to your-
My wife kind of gave out this. Hey, if
He's
you
got to have some extra credit. I saw one of them tests that he didn't know. I'm joking.
all right, that's awesome. Small world.
Yeah.
Dr. Campbell Dowdy.
Dr. Campbell Dowdy. That's right. I mean, it's something you said, and I thought,
That name.
Campbell Dowdy. That's what it
Campbell
was.
Dowdy.
Dowdy wasn't getting it for me. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because I said, oh, she's a hyphen.
Yes.
I just had told that to him.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
She's a Campbell out of the Spencer area, and so her brothers and sisters, her mom and dad, nieces and nephews, she loves them dearly.
Mm-hmm.
And so to honor her family, which I absolutely respect, she carries her family's name.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm a Smith Keys. I kept
You-
my name as
yeah.
well. Yeah.
And if my daughter's watching, she'll keep the name Dowdy, whatever she marries.
Keep that name. Keep that name. Yeah. Okay, so talk about we were speaking on homecoming.
Yes.
Any homecoming memories that come to mind
Ooh.
that you'd like to share? This was my second Langston University homecoming.
Okay.
So it felt a little bit better because I knew a few more people. When you don't know anyone, it's not lonely, but it seems different, I think. Yeah.
They all blend together.
Okay.
I will tell you the thing that has been maybe a really key moment for me and my wife the last 7 years has been the President's Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had the opportunity to go support and everyone dresses up.
Yes. Yes.
Looks their best. But it's a night where we try to raise money for the university and for students. And so, that evening within itself is what everyone looks forward to. The evening always sells out. Like there's never enough
Oh,
tickets.
I know.
You almost wonder
I
why.
didn't even get a ticket.
Why
this
don't
year.
we, put it in a bigger venues
I
and make
know.
even more money? But that's the business side of me, just thinking through the thing. But those are memories that we had, going together, dressing up,
Oh,
being
yeah.
cute,
Isn't
taking
that nice?
pictures. Those are good memories to have. And some of the guests that had come in that we got to enjoy together. Free concerts, honestly.
Yeah.
I think the Isley brothers came. They gave us their
what
full
I
set.
heard. I heard. I would have
Full
loved that.
set. Every song that's in probably their top 20 of all time. Like 2 hours. of
Wow.
and he was singing. So yeah, those kind of memories and looking at your wife and singing in the camera. Those are good times.
Yeah, yeah. My first year, I purchased a table because I wanted all my sons there, and
How many sons do you have?
I have 4.
Okay.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
have 4 guys. They range from 29 to 24.
Oh.
So
You didn't have a vote in the house.
I
you
did
were
not. I even
outruled.
had a male cat. It was
My goodness.
Yeah, 2'9". So I was out.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're 2 boys and 2 girls in our home. So me
Okay.
and my son is 22, soon to be 23, and then my daughter's 21. And so it's a split vote sometimes.
yeah.
But my wife knows how do I say this gently because she's listening. Her way sometimes is the right way, and so we
I hear
go
you.
with those.
Well, they go with me finally.
Do they?
But I have to listen to a lot of, yammering or whatever you want to call,
Call
it.
it yammering.
But because they always follow their dad, they're not going to go against, and he's
Do
not
they
always
clean?
right.
Do they clean up after
Oh my God.
themselves?
Do their dad clean? Yeah. Well, we won't go there.
Okay.
We will
I
not,
would-
because he's
I would-
probably listening, and I don't want.
It's okay.
I don't want to put his business on the street.
That's all right. We can talk about it. I'm also a counselor.
Yeah, we might need some of that.
All right, it's all good.
Oh gosh, that's funny. Okay, do we have any callers? No. Okay, so we're gonna go on then.
Can they call in? Can we
They can
let the
call
folks
in.
know? So
Yeah.
for all my folks that are listening and watching, I don't know what it's 918-856-3873. 918-856-3873 if you want to call in with questions or comments.
We'd love it. We'd love to have some
Anybody
callers.
can call. All right. There it is.
So you've transitioned to the business world,
Yes,
or how long have you been adjunct? Talk to me about
2
that.
years.
2 years. Okay.
That's a whole nother story. I don't even know if we have time to tell it. I was
Okay.
in corporate America for almost 19 years.
Okay.
Learned a lot, had a lot of great mentors, had a lot of responsibility in different companies that I was in. And then the Lord sent me down this path in 2019. Most challenging year of my life. So many different things happened to me that year. I got surplus along with like 20,000 other people over 5 years.
Okay.
The company didn't manage its resources correctly, and for that reason, they let me and many people go. So I ended up at another good job.
Okay.
Was there for 3 years, and then they surplus my entire department. I was the senior manager over 200 something employees, and they said, we don't need your department anymore.
What? Oh.
That was the end of December of 2022.
Okay. But so you made it through 2020 and 2021. Okay.
The Lord kept me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I woke up on January 1st of 23. January 1st, New Year, and I felt my spirit, God saying, hey, I need you to do something. I woke up, it was very quick. I said, what do you need me to do? He said, I need you to preach. I said, I've been preaching. I've been preaching since 96.
Okay.
No, I need you to get online and start preaching to the masses.
Okay.
I didn't have or find a job for 10 months. Every day I'm online looking for another job. Beautiful resume. MBA from Oklahoma Christian, 18 years of experience in leadership. Like, I know what I'm doing. And for whatever reason, I know the reason now, God did not allow anybody to hire me. Nobody. And for those 10 months, I woke up every morning and prayed with people. Started Bible studies, started going online every Sunday night, like just on clockwork.
Yeah.
And the Lord said, you're a pastor. I said, I don't want a church. Don't want a building. Don't want to have to pay rent and insurance. He said, no, you're a shepherd. You don't need a building to be a shepherd.
Right.
And I'm going to do it my way. I said, oh, okay. Still looking for, Lord, I still need to pay rent. So I'm looking for jobs every day.
Right.
500, 600 jobs I know I've applied for.
Wow.
Not one of those companies hired me. September, a company hired me. It was right on time because we had literally went through all of our savings.
Yeah.
Everything I'd saved up, paying rent, being there for the kids, all gone. God knew exactly the timing of that job. Got the job. 6 months later, guess what they did? You want to guess?
Let you go.
They let me go. Guess how many people they surplus this go round?
One?
They couldn't tell me what I did wrong. They didn't write
Are
me
you
up.
kidding?
They just like, we don't need you anymore. That's like, did I do like?
Yeah. Give me a reason.
They said, well, some people don't get along with you, and so perhaps this isn't the right job for you. And I said, and it was in that moment I heard God tell me, I felt my spirit say, don't even fight it, because this isn't for you anymore.
Yeah.
This was for a set time. This was for a season. It definitely was needed. Those 6 months was needed. It got us kind of back on track financially. Kids were in school, but I felt God was like, leave it alone.
Wow.
I'm actually protecting you from your haters. I'm actually pulling you out before it gets even worse. Don't you thank God for looking out for
my
you? I don't want to
gosh.
turn this into something that it's not.
No, I'm needing this right now. You
I'm
don't
grateful.
even know how much I
Listen,
needed to hear what you just said.
I'm grateful for a God who already knows my path. I'm grateful that God already knows my plans. He said, I got a hope and a future for you. I have the plan. Quit trying to figure stuff out on your own. And so there I was sitting there, immediately said, you know what? I want to wish y'all the best. I really do. You and you, HR, y'all have an awesome rest of your career. Tell me what I need to do.
Yeah.
Tell me what I need to mail back. And a week later, I started applying again. I said, here we go. This feels very familiar. And after about a week or two, something said, stop applying for jobs.
Yeah.
I said, okay. I got something for you. 19 years of corporate, 12 years of running a 501c3, church leadership, an MBA. I've been coaching people my whole life. Go into business for yourself. I said, I don't know, like what, I know what I want to do,
right?
But I don't want to go back to school right now to be a counselor or therapist. He said, you don't have to go back to school to be a counselor. This is the Lord talking to me. You don't have to go back to school to be a counselor or therapist. You already have had the training. I have trained you. I've set you up. I've put you in a position to help people for years, and now you're going to do it your own way. And I heard life coach.
Yeah.
Help people with their lives.
Yeah.
You can pastor and life coach, two separate things doing the same thing. Pastor people for free, whatever they need, but people who actually need a journey, a path. Here's your goals, here's your plans. I do fitness, I do life, I do business, I do communication, I do marriage. Like, you need a 12-week program. And here's what God told me. He said, what's going to make you different is you're going to have a fair fee. Listen to this. And you're not going to keep people hooked on to you for 20 years. It troubles me when people say, oh, I've gone to my therapist. Nothing against going to therapist. Keep going to your counselor. Keep taking your medicine. But you've gone to your therapist for 20 years every Monday, and you're the same person. I have to ask myself, maybe you have the wrong therapist. Because if we're doing it the right way, God's way, healing should eventually come. Deliverance should actually hit you at a point where you say, wait, I get it. I just had an aha moment. I had the prodigal son experience. I want to change. I don't want to be that person anymore.
Right.
So that's where I'm at. That's what I've been doing. All that corporate experience, all that church leadership experience. We now have our own church, but we don't call it a church. We meet every day online on TikTok. We meet every Sunday. We meet on Tuesdays for Bible study. I got 3 classes going right now. I should have put my website available, but none of that's neither here nor there. We just want to be here for people.
Right.
Because people are hurting. People are confused. People need peace. People argue all the time with people they love, and they want to know how to stop that. They want to just have a moment of, can we just get along?
Yeah, all that childhood traumas,
all the pettiness,
stuff that you've grown up with. Those, my button to push.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's stop that.
So my job now is help the young people in the classroom, help people in life, and provide whatever services the Lord tells me to. And I'll tell you this: this has been, and I told my wife this just the other day, like the best time of my life. Like I can't describe what it feels like for God to bet on you and you bet on yourself. Like, I don't have to wake up and worry about corporate. I love what I do. And there's a saying that I knew my whole life. My daddy used to say, man, when you find out what you love to do and you're doing it, it won't even feel like work. You'll never work a day in your life. It will never feel like work when you're doing what you love. And so here I am.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. I love that, but you've really helped me today, and I didn't even know. I mean, I did know. I had a question in my head that's been going.
What's that question?
Well, it's. So I was sick in 2020 with COVID, and I had to step down from a job. And so since that time, I've had jobs And so I guess my resume looks like a year here, a year and a half here, a year and a half here. So now I'm here in Oklahoma, and my husband is in Oklahoma and Texas, so
Goes
he's
back and forth.
commuting.
Okay.
And so I just didn't think at this stage, that we'd be apart. Even though I know he comes, every other week or every 2 weeks. I just thought my life would be a little different, right now. So.
But I
So
hear
I
what
have
you're
some
saying.
questions.
So yeah, that's interesting because we do question ourselves sometimes. We say, what junction did I not take the right U-turn or the right exit? Did I make a mistake?
Mm-hmm.
I have learned that even the things that happen to us that we don't understand is all part of the big plan.
Right.
This is that part where he says, you don't understand my ways. You don't even understand my thoughts. I have this big chess piece of trillions of pieces on the board, and I know where every last one of them are going to go and how they intersect with one another.
Mm-hmm.
All I need you to do is trust me. All I need you to do is sit back and say, this was the path. Like, could I have done something different? Could I have made a different decision? And God is saying, where you are right now is where you're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
He said, all things work together. Everything that has ever happened to you worked for good. I know the plans. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Every good and perfect gift comes from him. It's good. Like this was his purpose. It was intentional. It was on purpose. That COVID situation with you was on purpose because it landed you right here, right now in this situation. This was already thought of.
Wow.
He already sees 25 and 26. We're sitting there thinking that we have free will. Somebody's probably saying, well, I thought we do have free will. You do to an extent, but he's the sovereign God. And everyone whose lives are in his hand, you're really saying, well, not my will, but your will. Our Father which art in heaven, holy is thy name. Let your kingdom come. Let your will be done. So if that's our true desire, like whatever you want to do, it's like a husband who's it's your wife's birthday and you say, all right, what do you want to do today? Now, deep down inside, you might want to take her here. You may want to go there. But it ultimately becomes, what do you want to do today, baby?
Right. Right.
What do you want to do? There's that mystery that we have that Paul talked about between us and our Savior. It's just like a marriage. What do you want to do today? He's the groom, we're the bride. And he says, I got you. It's not a mistake.
Right.
And you probably have even more to come as long as you keep trusting him. Let me be quiet. I feel like I'm preaching a little bit.
No, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay. Woo. So, we're going to transition just a little bit. We're going to come back, give Mr. Dowdy a little minute break here. And I want to talk about some upcoming news and notes that's happening at Langston University, Tulsa. First up is yesterday we had Addressing Maternal Equity for African American women on the campus. It was a simulation workshop. And if you were not there, you truly missed it. You truly missed it. This was the second iteration of this Be Well program, the simulation workshop. And it was from 9 to 5, and it was wonderful. We had a great time. If there's anyone out Finally, we're calling all lions your future roars. Langston University is the only historically black college and university in the state of Oklahoma. Our rich history, coupled with our dedication of our faculty and staff, we are a leader in providing quality education. So we're going to put something up on our link. So if you are interested in applying or finding out more information about Langston University, we would love to speak with you. Okay. Oh, let me add one more thing. We've got the Graduate Career Fair. This is happening on October 29th, and this is on the flagship campus in Langston, Oklahoma. And we want you to connect with an internship or a job. So we invite everyone to come out to our Graduate Career Fair. Do you have anything to add, Mr. Dowdy, about that Graduate Career Fair? We know we want them to come out prepared.
I don't think I have anything additional.
Okay. So everyone, if you're thinking you're coming, please come resume ready. Make sure your LinkedIn profile is up to date, and just take care of those two things, and make sure you're dressed appropriately. Okay. So back to our guest. I want to hear more about the prodigal son. You mentioned it. Do you want to go into that?
I can. So my parents, they raised us right.
Okay.
No parents were perfect, but they did their best to raise us right. In church, Sunday school, BTU, Vacation Bible School. We were the only kids at Wednesday night church many nights. And so mom and dad made sure that our hearts were after God. We remembered scripture, we prayed. My dad should have been a deacon, probably a preacher, but he kind of stayed as that community supporter. Mom was a principal in Oklahoma City Public Schools for close to 30 years, and so she had a heart for kids in the community. And so I knew right from wrong. Like, there was no question. Mom would come home and say things like, I had to deal with bad kids all day long. The last thing I'm going to do is come home and deal with the two of you all. So please behave, do your homework. I don't want to get phone calls. And so I stayed on the right path. I wasn't a good, perfect kid, but I did my best to stay on the right path. After those 2 years at OBU, and this is the victory. This is not victimhood. This is where you tell your story. Because we overcome because of the blood of the Lamb and our testimony. And so that coach at OBU decided that I was, again, not needed.
Right.
It was my first kind of rejection in life. My first opportunity to feel like you should have been there. You should have a seat at the table, but someone says, no, you're not worthy, you're not valuable, we don't want you. Like, literally, go play somewhere else.
Wow.
What did I do? Help me understand this. I was an 18, 19-year-old kid. My brain was still processing. Psychologists say that a kid's brain processes before it becomes who they are from the ages of 4 to 22. And so in that time period, the psychologists say you're figuring out the kind of person you want to be, and your brain is hardening. And so that moment did something to me, because I'd never been rejected. I had parents who loved me, a church that loved me, grandparents that loved me, a school that loved me. Shout out to Star Spencer. But yet, this coach was like, you're not... I'm dunking on everybody every day in practice. I'm out running and out hustling everybody. Like, what's the reason? He didn't have a reason. And so I got in my feelings. I was hurt. I gave up. I thought, well, if I don't want to play basketball, if I can't play basketball, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah, who am I? Right.
Because basketball defined me. Ended up moving to Kansas City with a girlfriend at the time, and just kind of abandoned ship, like literally left home.
Okay.
Mom and dad were more than patient, more than kind, more than supportive. 19-year-old kid with no job, no career. I was selling perfume at the time with this company that was just kind of a racket, and they never did that. What are you doing? Shame on you. If you do that, I'm gonna kick you. They never did any of that. Son, what do you need? We love you. We support you. They knew I was probably going down the wrong path, but they let me go. And there I am in Kansas City. And one night, we had a money bag with some money in it, and it just went missing. Thousands of dollars missing. Checks from other people who had missing. And I searched everywhere for that bag. Under the car, in the bags, we couldn't find it. And it hit me in that moment. I'm struggling, selling perfume in Kansas City. And my brother's at home eating good. My mama's at home eating good. My dad. I'm standing in one of those hotels that could be a long stay hotel apartment. What am I doing? And I looked at my girlfriend at the time. She had nothing to do with it. We didn't have any issues or challenges. It was just, I just knew in my heart, this was it. I got to go back home. And I got to change my life around. Called my mom on a payphone, 10 o'clock at night. Mom, trying not to cry. She said, hey, son. She didn't come at me hard. Where you been? I hadn't heard from you. Hey, son. I said, Mom. Before I could even get the next word out, I remember it like it was just, this is a core memory that will always be there. She said, your bed's waiting for you whenever you're ready to come home.
Oof.
I'm on my way. Hung up the phone. 11 o'clock at night, 6-hour drive, 7-hour drive from Kansas City. Got home. Apologized to the parents. All my dad said was, you either got to go to school or you got to get a job. You can stay here as long as you need to. Get yourself together, figure out what you need to do. Man, that felt good. Ended up working at Hardee's during the mornings and another job in the afternoons. Start working on my game again up there at Star Spencer in the evenings in the summer. And then that's when I had the opportunity to go to Langston. During that prodigal son experience one night, this was about December when I came home, my dad said, son, you want to go to church with me tomorrow? I said, yeah. I said, where? He said, this new preacher that's on the scene. He's going to be in town over at Crossroads Cathedral. This is a church in Oklahoma City. I said, yeah, I'll go with you. I was sitting in church with my dad. I said, wait, who's this preacher? He said, I don't know this guy's name. Some guy out of Virginia, J.T. Wentworth, J.T. Johnson, J.T. Juice. Ended up being a 31-year-old T.D. Jakes.
Oh.
At the time.
Right.
That T.D. Jakes.
Okay.
Not speaking to
Yeah.
the rumors or whatever.
Right.
But that T.D. Jakes was in this church preaching his butt off. And all I can explain is that the Holy Spirit took over me. And I'm sitting there as Jakes is preaching. And I just started writing. I couldn't stop. I was writing my first sermon and didn't even know it. And I was just writing and writing and writing. I heard what he was saying, but I wasn't even listening to what he was saying. I just was hearing God talk to me about coming out of struggle, how things worked out for good and everything has a purpose. Same story almost 30 years later. And I'm writing. And my dad looks over at me. He said, man, are you paying attention? I said, yes, I am, but I can't help it. I'm writing. I'm writing. We get in the car afterwards, me and my dad. He says, what were you writing? I said, I think I actually just wrote my first sermon. I said, Dad, I think I'm supposed to be a preacher. My dad looks over at me. We didn't even pull out the parking lot yet. We just sitting in the truck. He says, how do you know? I said, I can't explain it. Like, it's unexplainable. I just have this urgency to tell people about the good news so they don't go down the wrong path. I want to be inspiration. I can't explain it. My dad's next words, sealed it. Didn't need any more confirmation. He said, well, son, if the Lord told you to preach, you better preach. He puts, the old cars that had that truck that you had to put the gear down, and he backs out. And the whole time home, I'm thinking, what does that look like? What does that mean? Who do I tell? Like, what? That was December. I preached my first sermon on Mother's Day of 96. Was in Langston, August of 96. And that's that 3-year journey.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Me and my wife ended up being the youth pastors at the church we grew up in from like 99 to about 2009. And then the Lord sent us to another church to learn some things from 2009 to about 2019. And then in 2019, when my father passed, we went to a good friend's church. I needed that because I was broken, depressed. Life had hit me. My dad passed, lost those jobs. Me and my wife had our own challenges at the time. AU wasn't going the way that I thought. My kids' high school career wasn't going the way I thought. I look back on it now, and that was probably my second prodigal son experience. The first prodigal son experience was leaving the home.
Right.
Second prodigal son experience was leaving my own faith because I questioned God. What's the point of praying if you're not going to answer prayers? What's the point of even asking you to fix something if you're not going to fix it? If you've already made your mind up, you're the sovereign God. You already figured people's path. So that was where I was at for almost 2.5 years. No one knew it because I kept a smile on my face. I masked it like many of us do. We have masked hurt, we mask pain, we mask abuse, we mask all the frustrations of stuff that we don't want to tell nobody about because we don't think nobody understands us. The one person who I could talk to about everything, that understood me, who could say, I get it, didn't push back, didn't argue with me, didn't fuss or fight, it was my dad. And when he passed, it was like, I can't really trust nobody with my feelings. My wife and her and I were close, but again, we, just like many couples, being honest and transparent. That's why we wrote the book. We had some real issues. Like, it was on the table. What do we do? How long is this gonna last? Right. And I was just I was at a place where I said, I don't even care. I don't care about life. I don't care about nothing. I care about my kids. Make sure my wife is safe. But like. And I had an aha moment. The Lord spoke to me about 2.5 years into that. And I'll be finished with this story.
Very good.
He says, what are you so upset about? I said, because you took my daddy. Lung cancer, liver cancer, colon cancer.
Oh my goodness.
Never smoked, never drank, didn't do anything destructive to harm his body. And he just...
Was it secondhand? That's very
possible, because he went to work every day back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s where people smoked all the time. He worked in a factory. We don't have any conclusive evidence of what might have happened, but either way, God decided. But he says to me, son, what are you so upset about? I said, because you took my daddy. I don't have nobody to really talk to about my problems. And I asked you to heal my daddy. And then I almost had a Job moment. Like, I know what Job experienced, because Job was like, you bring me into the world, you can take me out. You think you're this, you're that. And God had to tell Job, whoa, you're getting close to sinning.
Okay.
Slow down. That's where I was at. I was like, can anybody tell you what to do? You'd already figured out people's problems. Like, what's the point of serving you if you're not going to, come through? And he said, you don't even see the big picture. Again, I'm already 25 chess pieces ahead, and you're still trying to figure out this one move. I'm already in the year 28, 29, 30, and you sitting there crying over what happened to you back in college.
Right.
He said, and I did answer your prayer. I said, no, you didn't. I said, yes, you did. I said, no, you didn't. He said, yes, I did. I heard this in my spirit. He said, I healed your dad. Your dad is completely healed. He's doing good. He looks good. He feels good. He is that crowd of witnesses that's talked about in Hebrews chapter 12 that's cheering you on.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mess up. I don't make mistakes. Everything is intentional. Even the things that man says, oh, it's the devil. Sometimes we bind the devil too much. You know, I get it.
Right.
I'm a preacher. I'll rebuke a spirit when I see a spirit. But sometimes it's not the evil spirit. Sometimes it's God saying this is just the way it's going to be.
This is it. Yeah.
Because it builds character, it builds perseverance, it builds hope.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You don't even get to be the person you are until you go through a trial. You don't even get to be the strong, formidable person you are until you're tested like gold in a fire. And once you're tested, God said, I know I can trust you. And I was tested because I almost gave up. Oh, but the devil thought he had me. That's what Ty Tribute sings. The devil thought he had me. I bounced back. I thank the Lord for Pastor Ronald Moore. Shout out to him, because he was one of those that I could talk to about things that just me and him talked about. Shout out to Herman Stevenson, because he was another brother that God brought into my life that I could pick the phone up and say, hey, you got a moment. I could go talk to another good friend named Cortez Boylan, that we just chopped it up and kept it real. I kind of wiped the tears from my eyes and said, we got this, because God got me. It's all good. This is to make me better. And my dad taught me everything I needed to know. If I could just be half the man that he was. And so that's the journey of that prodigal son from college all the way to now. I want to raise my 2 kids to love the Lord and to trust him, because I don't know what life's going to throw at them. They've had their own obstacles. They're both in their final years of college basketball. And so we're sitting back trusting God that everything Team Dowdy has been through, that they can apply it to their lives, trust the Lord, that whatever happens, it's a part of the big plan.
That's right. Oh, I love that. I'm gonna move with that going forward. And I've said that so many times. It's part of the plan. This is doing something that I need at the time. But you fall away from it. You know, as soon as I look away, I'm back to why am I going through this?
Yeah. We all do.
So it's that, just keeping it front and center. Yeah. So are you helping with any groups on campus? I mean, is that, you said you had the
that's a good question.
Group?
So the prayer group is a group that we have on TikTok and on Facebook.
Okay.
We put on YouTube. At the university, I am part of the Zip Gales Foundation. It's a basketball foundation that was founded by some gentlemen who played back in the 40s and 50s.
Okay.
And so we try to raise money that goes directly to men and women's basketball. And so I've been fortunate to now kind of chair that with another young lady, Tika Alexander. She was the first woman highway patrolman in the state of Oklahoma, first black woman highway patrolman, a Langston grad.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tika Alexander.
Shout out to Tika.
So her and I are leading that group on Langston's campus.
Okay. No, that's fabulous. So how can you be reached?
All right. I wish I wouldn't got those books, but that's okay. You can find the books. So I have 2 websites that you can go look me up on, and then I'll give you my TikTok and my Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Amazon handle. They're all the same. It's Ken _ Dowdy, DAUGHTY. It's at Ken _ Dowdy. You may see that other Ken Dowdy out there. That's my son.
Oh, okay.
He's the younger one. I'm the more handsome one. And so Ken _ DAUGHTY on TikTok, on Facebook. It's the same handle. Me and my wife, you'll know it's us because we're kissing. It's the picture on all of my social media. One of my websites is www.faithlove. That's one word, faithlove.site. And the other one is www.abundantly.site. The Abundantly website is where you can go and sign up for executive coaching, life coaching, any kind of services where you want to be a better person. I got 3 clients right now that have signed up for fitness, virtual fitness training coach. Being an AAU coach all these years and having college athletes, we know a little bit about keeping the body fit. And so I put them through weekly things that help them grow physically, but again, mentally and emotionally. You want to be a better husband. You want to be a better executive. You want to be a better, or perhaps you don't even know your purpose. Like, I'm 20 years old, I'm 30 years old, 40 years old. I don't even know what I'm going to do the next 30 years.
Right.
I'm going to coach you up. I'm going to help you. I'm not going to coddle you. I'm not going to sit there and put you in a corner and rub your back and tell you it's going to be okay. No, I'm going to ask you some really tough questions in love. And we're going to figure out what your first...
I have 4 guys for you.
Well, sign them up. I have some of the lowest fees in life coaching. So it's not about the money for me, because God said he's going to supply all my needs according to his riches. He just said help people. And if you need a pastor, you don't have a pastor, there's no cost there. You just find me and say, I need a pastor. I need somebody I can talk to. Somebody I could go to my dad and talk to. Someone like Pastor Ron. You need somebody to talk to. Find me. Don't go through life alone. Don't go through life trying to figure this out by yourself. Let's talk. Find me. Send me a message. Send me a private message. Pastor Ken, I need somebody to talk to. Let's talk. Let's figure it out.
You guys, reach out to Pastor Ken. We loved him being on the show today, and we hope he'll come back to visit Langston Vibes. So thanks again for following the show today. We appreciate everyone who stayed around and listened to the show. L's up.
L's up.
Okay.